Nerves, though,
It's fun.
obviously. I would say if he got that flash E,
You would have been first.
yeah, he would be first.
Like the extra attack speed on top of that. Well, I mean, you get the attack
damage
speed
as
anyway,
well,
but like, the
yeah.
damage is pretty huge. It's hitting.
You can
targets.
reset the attack speed as well.
Yeah, because you don't get the second proc. of course, yeah. And it's actually pretty big. There you
It
go.
is.
Small micro mechanics. Not that you're ever going to fall clear on Lee Sin, but
Obviously, we're like, this is a challenge. This one is nothing. No. Those 3 to 4 seconds, it's enough for the jungler to go on your lane, get a kill, and get out before you get there.
there was actually a
please tell me.
Actually, a really good example of this. For those of you who watched like the Rift Rivals, and like the Twitch Rivals or whatever it was in North America with the Team Shadow Dogs Unleashed, Tarzan was playing in that, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm playing Rek'Sai. I'm 5 seconds. I'm like 3 seconds faster than Jarvan." Turns up top lane, uses that 3 seconds to kill someone. Like this a couple of years ago, but that's stuck in my mind ever since.
Every single second in League of Legends. Man, this is why we're going to jump straight up into Champion Select. It is Singularity versus Vanir. The last game of the day, of the second half of the split. Day 10 on NLC. Let's get it rolling. I'm ready for this one. No, you gotta slap. There you go.
Ooh, finally some good timing for you. Congratulations.
Job production. Obviously, it's an entire new team for Singularity. This said in the previous day, it's fine. We knew this was going to happen. We are now building our synergy. See us on Wednesday. I'm seeing.
But this time, that's Zpikee in his ADC. That's not even going to be Piccione playing as AD carry.
I was fooled.
So,
A new composition yet again.
And Singularity, again, they stuck with the same roster for a full split, another half a split after that point. They have done a lot of work in trying to develop a roster which has now evidently failed. They're trying to last minute, last gasp save their split. And the last game they showed didn't show any massive improvement. This is an uphill battle. Vanir at 3 and 6. They are not one of our best teams in the NLC right now, but this is a huge test for Singularity to say, can you hit against any team in the NLC right now? Because they're starting from a blank slate, and that is a horrible piece of news if you're a Singularity fan.
I'm letting you know, I casted Division 2 yesterday, and every single day I cast Division 2, teams are telling me that Singularity spot is looking good, is looking tasty. They are really keen to go for Singularity, so they either get their synergy right now, or they're going to meet some hungry teams.
And these bans are going to be super weird too, because we have so many like dedicated, like not necessarily as many one tricks. We have a lot of people who are very much dedicated to certain champions too. So we haven't seen any bot lane bans so far.
So it leaves things like Zeri open, and you have the first pick. You can
Lucian.
Exactly. Senna or Zeri could be just such a big priority here. You take them, you know already that you're going to have such good scaling in a
fun
team.
champion.
Oh.
We like playing at NLC.
Well, given some of the game.
Yumi as well. I heard the prophet.
Okay, that's
I heard the
fair.
prophet.
Okay, now that's better.
I'm so used to seeing this champion banned, and maybe maybe it's short-term memory loss after the pet pop-up in the last game of like the whatever the picture of Yumi was that picked up in game. That hurt me. That hurt me, chat.
Oh, it's not going to be Yumi. Aww.
Well, you're locking in the Zeri, so I think
then you can go for the Yumi.
You can lock in Zeri Yumi. This is absolutely.
Okay.
We so rarely see this combo even get through. So, I mean, you've got two teams which are kind of struggling, kind of down on their luck right now. Maybe you think you can get away with certain things against certain players on these teams, but Mirbs has been pretty decent, and he obviously came in from Div 2, which both of you would have more experience than I do, because I've not really managed to check in.
He's a hyper carry, and whenever he has some sort of lead, he
Tell me
goes
about.
on it.
I'm going to be the host now. So tell me about Mirbs. What do you make of this player, particularly on a champion like Zeri?
He is a hyper carry. You need the team to play around him, but if it's pretty much what we've been talking about today, about the hyper carries. If you have the team playing around them, they can later on in the game carry the team on their shoulders. But what champion do you pick for that?
Go on, Ashram.
Thank you, host. So the idea is Mirbs really enjoys having mobility in team fight, and it's really hard to take a grasp out of Mirbs. If he has something about like the Zeri, they really need some sort of good lockdown, like the Nautilus, or even the slow coming in from the Twitch to deal with that. So I do believe the answer from Singularity is quite good.
Well, thank you. I'm now going to retire my host role. I think it was a wonderful minute or two. Let's talk about that Twitch. Thank you. That means a lot coming for you. The Twitch and the Zeri, Twitch and the Nautilus coming through though. Most of the time when Twitch has been an answer into the Zeri, it's because you can deny the Yumi at the same time. So you have Twitch Yumi, which also really scales very well, and then you can just kind of like outscale while surviving in lane against that Zeri. Now you're against the Zeri Yuumi, I'm not as big a fan of that. And with the Jin Zhao, Jin Zhao Yuumi is a good combo too, which allows that Yuumi another person to attach to in team fights. Seems like a pretty strong first 3 from Vanir.
The thing with Yuumi is that she will sit greatly on Zeri because Zeri will benefit very much from that additional movement speed that Yuumi will give her. But with Yuumi, you also want her to be jumping onto somebody else as much as possible. And usually for that, you pick the jungler who can benefit from the movement speed as well. Xin Zhao fits here, even though I am not a fan of Xin Zhao.
What if I told you you don't get a choice to start hopping between people because Nautilus is going to take great offense to that?
Right.
That's the thing, right? Because as soon as Yuumi detaches, like, you're in trouble.
in danger.
You have to choose someone at the start of the fight and just say, like, I'm your ride or die.
Unless Nautilus is taken down, yeah. Yuumi has to stay on target. Another thing that I really enjoy, and I'm sad that I don't get to see it more often, is Xin Zhao versus the Twitch. Because when he pops the ulti, you pop your ulti, and he cannot attack anyone because you block everything.
Does that work like that? I actually didn't know that interaction.
Because you're blocking the target, you're blocking the missile.
I didn't know it was a block in the missile. I just thought it was just you are immune to it. It's,
Maybe it is, I'm completely wrong. I don't know, I'm the host. Probably...
I take.
Trouble will tell me the answer. I know, she's a prophet.
I'm fairly sure the way it works is that you don't take damage. You still get targeted.
We'll see.
I'm sure we will, actually.
I'm sure we will. You want to bet? You want to bet?
I'll bet.
What is that?
We'll see what happens with that interaction in game.
There's a lot of junglers being taken away. We have the Karthus, the Wukong, the Lilia, and the Viego. You have to fall back onto all the junglers that probably are not customized to. And Scrooty, it's a new player, so let's see what he brings.
Jarvan. I am seeing Jarvan so much in this combo right now. You need to look down Zeri, and Jarvan will do it with you.
She can hop.
True that.
We already got rid of like the giant W from X7 earlier. We did the whole Mario universe. I thought you were doing a Mario jump. That was like a whoa.
No.
But the problem I have, the problem I have with this is that, like, if you go Jarvan drives into a Yuumi ult, dives into a Zeri that just hops over the wall, and then just like runs you down anyway. You get out-dueled by Jin Zhao early. You're into an R. You can gank Ahri early. That's one answer to it. I think that's very risky though. So I think that's not what I would be looking personally. Dare I say it's another Udyr angle? That would be very different.
Do it.
That'd be very different. I haven't seen one of them in a while. I have not seen one of them in a while. In fact, the last time I saw that would have been from LDLC. It would have been Yike playing that. It would have been at EU Masters. Now, this is something which says, so, that Jin Zhao early game, how about that, huh?
How about that? And you have such a good backline access, and you have something that can follow up with the Zeri's mobility and the Ahri's mobility as well, and can shut them down pretty early.
And you have to shut them down early.
Yes.
That's the thing is that you are now obligated to, because much as we were talking about, like, I was saying, like, I would have a lot of reservations into Jarvan, into this kind of team, where, like, actually there's a lot of mobility. You think you've locked down the Zeri until she presses E, and that's really annoying. But Kha'Zix is going to do the same problem without bringing CC and only bringing damage, which Yuumi will do a lot to deal against that. So now, Zpikee has to do so much work in terms of finding people on the side of fights and before fights set up. Otherwise, this Kha'Zix is going to be very, very difficult to pilot an even team fight.
Question.
Go analyst number.
Kha'Zix, with the idea that getting isolation damage versus Zeri and Yuumi, does it work? Because I know if the Yuumi attaches itself into a Hullbreaker target, the Hullbreaker is fine.
Yeah, so...
Hullbreaker?
Now, that's just broken my work. I was fairly sure that...
No, I'm sure of that.
I'm fairly sure that the isolation does not end up working on Yuumi targets. I feel like you are...
So the Hullbreaker works, but the isolation doesn't.
I believe that is one of our many inconsistencies within League of Legends.
It's features, and it's a feature to look into this game. Singularity versus Vanir. Last words from you, Solari.
Vanir looks stronger to me. They have better composition, and they have ways to play around the damage that Singularity are going to be throwing on them, and they have their own ways to run around team fights as well, and they don't need to send anybody forward too much because they can just stick up as a team and deny the possibility of the isolation from Kha'Zix. So I believe in Vanir.
I'm just saying, I really hope this is comfort picks from Singularity because this is so risky if it isn't. So that's what I'm hoping for. If they are very confident in their champions, maybe they can make it work. If not, Vanir have walked away with a huge draft advantage.
It's the road of the rematch for Singularity and for Vanir. First game of the second half of the split for these two teams, and a team that is still trying to adapt. The other one just brought a new player into the top side. Let's see how they fare as we jump into the last game of the day. I'll say it again one more time. Hip Brain! Trouble! What's up?
Hey, how's it going? We're getting ready to go into our final game.
He shouted our names.
He did shout our names.
But then he was like, what's up?
I know. He lost energy. He's a sleepy boy, bless him. He goes to bed early, gets up early. You know, he's a functioning adult like the rest of us. Oh, okay. So last time she didn't get the hug on camera, so here we go. Oh. You're a beautiful man. Welcome to the caster desk. Things are crumbling rapidly. That was actually cruel, but he feels bad. Look, he actually feels bad now. He's waiting for the camera to go off, and then he's going to give her a big
You're not getting a kebab later. Don't even.
We're cut to me. We're on a close-up of me now, are we? Is that where we're at? Chaos. Chaos to end the day out.
Bribed. When I mention kebab, I'm getting bribed.
Wait, sorry. Are you buying him a kebab? Because I owe him one. If you're buying it, I'll let you. That's the deal. Everyone, you all heard it first. Anyway, we are on to the Rift for our final game of the day. Vanir taking on Singularity. Singularity haven't found a single win all split long. We're into the second half of the split. Can they start this one off with a positive step forward?
Brand new roster came in on Monday as well. And actually, it wasn't even the intended roster. They had Zpikee in the bot lane, but because Zpikee could not play because she was locked out of his city or something, he couldn't get something along these lines.
Locked out his city?
I think so. I think we had an interview, I'm pretty sure. We're talking with the coach, and Zpikee couldn't join, actually. So Piccione had to sub into the bot lane, which is very much appreciated because she always has Katarina. But now Zpikee, the AD carry for Singularity, the only actually remaining member after the whole restructure. And I think there's a bunch of good things to mention around this because the coach also told us that Scrudy and Sips have played together previously because we asked, how do you structure an entire different team midway through the split, right? Like, what are the pieces you're looking at and how do you put them together? And he's like, it's very easy. When you have people that have previously played together and they are available to join a team, you usually would like to have them because they are used to playing with each other's play style and all that. And honestly, I would have to say huge props to Mirza as well, because ever since he has joined Singularity, I think Singularity found a spark in one of their lanes, and that is definitely the mid lane. His Akali looked pretty clean, his Lucian looked so strong as well, and now he's put onto something that is a little bit more further scaling.
Well, you can see obviously the kitty cat in the bot lane paired up with the Zeri versus the rat and the scuba diver. Lots of animals again, keeping the animal theme going, and apparently you guys at home
scuba diver,
he's like a he's not a scuba diver. Scooby-Doo.
Scuba diver.
Well, speaking of famous pets, everybody has been lighting up the NLC pets hashtag, so I think it's only fair that we show some off, shall we? We'll start with this one. Oh, look at that little kid. That is actually a gorgeous cat. Look at those eyes. Beautiful, beautiful.
I think, to be honest, though, the cat seems to be paying more attention to the NLC than the owner.
That's a sleepy boy.
What think about this Doge? He's very tired, but a good boy either way.
He's a sleepy boy.
All boys are good boys, though.
All dogs are
good. Oh my God, you're going through.
His name's Sion and he has a little bow tie.
Oh,
I love him.
That's adorable.
I love all animals. I'm not a cat or a dog person. I'm a both person. But
I'm a dog person, but I like all animals.
I love both. I can't choose, but I am partial to a cat with a bow tie. I'm not going to lie. Absolutely adore them. Anyway, 3 minutes in, and we have already derailed and started talking about animals. Singularity really need to find this win. I think that's probably the fairest thing to say. If they lose this, they can't even get higher than a 50% win rate this season. And Mirza is looking for Ericsson, but Ericsson finds the outplay. Scrudy tries to get onto him, but he has no flash. So Ericsson's going for the outrun. He's trying to get out, and he's managed to find a slip away. Can he get the recall off in time? He needs to press that B button soon. Teleport's coming out. He's teleporting out. He's done it. He's out of there.
Wait, Scrudy is running Ghost on this Kha'Zix. So there is no way you can flash further into the backline apart from your jump. And that was a really nice outplay right here from Ericsson, because he knows if he flashes through the wall, he knows that Scrudy is covering that space. So he hits the taunt onto Mirza, assassinates him, and then flashes through, knowing that Scrudy has already used his jump, and he also only has Ghost. And of course, you cannot necessarily chase into Fog of War, because that Ahri will be slippery or will go towards the tower and get the execute later on. So good stuff, early game by Singularity, trying to get that gang going, but in the end it turned up to be an advantage for Ericsson. Really good pick right there.
Pulls the SOAS off and gets out.
Well. Sorry?
Pulls the SOAS off, teleports out. It was beautiful. Scrudy is looking for something down here in the bot side though, but he is on a ward. So Pearson may struggle to find him. Zpikee does decide to check the bush now and realise that it is a little bit rough for him as actually Dreampool able to trade back thanks to that brittle proc. So a whole bunch of damage into Sips there.
Actually, these are some pretty good timers from Zpikee because he visited mid lane when Ericsson had to shove in his wave and crash it.
Yeah.
He's towards the bot side of the map. Well, look at the wave for Mirbs. That he needs to crash that wave towards the tower so it doesn't get frozen by Zpikee in person. So Zpikee's timers so far have been pretty good. Has it been successful ganks? Not necessarily. I feel like the Vanir members are completely respecting the fact that there is a Kha'Zix that's running around the map looking for opportunities, and that is an isolated target into Zpikee's jungle.
Yeah, but he did use a whole bunch of abilities there, but Mirza is there. Kriok's is going to just jump away thanks to Mirza. Wind become lightning and a quick dash away to safety. He had Ericsson in his pocket as well, so he was feeling pretty comfortable on that front. Looks like Kriok isn't quite done playing and being annoying to Zpikee. He's still got his own camps to go for, but he's still got that smite, and Zpikee used a fair amount here. He's going to jump in and find him. This Kha'Zix was picked to deal with this Xin Zhao, and he's almost found in the smite here. The flash, Kriok's 27 HP, but Sips comes in with a Q. Can't quite find it. Find the charm. No! Sips finds the kill, but goes down. Ericsson gets his second.
It's a fiesta, ladies and gentlemen. Grab your beverages and grab your popcorn because Singularity are getting kills and numbers and names in this game. Sips all the way from the tops of the map, roams mid to try and get the kill onto Kreox. Kreox, yet again, he fancies the 1v1 versus Kha'Zix, but isolated, you do not win this. And even though he does get the tag on the Zpikee and dashes onto him, you see that Smite is a very dirty spell, ladies and gentlemen. But again, even with Zpikee smiting first and Kreox smiting second to get that HP, you see that the isolated damage is coming through. Really nice tag team also there onto Sips and Mirbs.
That's the flash away. All summoner spells burned by Vanir's bot lane there. Zpikee still has flash and heal. Pearson's still got the heal, as the flash as well. So a lot burnt there from Vanir, and they really didn't gain much.
Yeah, Singularity only burned their ignite and took 4 summoners away from Vanir. So I'm expecting Zpikee to speedrun his level 6 and potentially go visit that bot side of the map that looks completely volatile right now.
Yeah, it looks very easy for him to be able to pick that up, and luckily for him, his farm is on the bottom side of the map, so he can clear downwards and then potentially look to punish. Now, Zambera places that pink in the bush, so there is still a little pocket of vision for Vanir to play around, but this Tri-Brush is going to be a problem, and Mirza actually just having a little walk around the map, seeing if potentially he can find something in this bot side, but just going to get himself some honey fruit, num num num. Head back to safety. Zpikee could just go for Dragon. Kha'Zix very, very effective at taking Dragons because of the isolation. So could also look towards that, as it looks like bot lane will be pushing away. So it might be a hard lane to gank, especially when the Zeri has been able to heal up. The Yuumi has been able to heal up the Zeri.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Zpikee because he just hit level 6 off of his Krugs right there. So I'm expecting for him to go towards the bot side of the map later on. You see Zpikee in person actually backing right now. I wonder if this is even going to be a cheeky roam towards the middle of the map. Ericsson has a very juicy 150 gold bounty onto him. And we do know a lot that the rat, Twitch, I was trying to find the name. I'm like, it's been a long day. Twitch actually really likes to roam, and suddenly he pops in the mid lane. But right now, Action, of course, has his ultimate, he has his flash. It's not that easy to pin him down.
No, he is very hard to handle, actually. Like you said, heal flash up and available. Dragon is up as well, though, so maybe we'll see some attention towards that. It looks like with the rotations, they want to get pressure mid lane onto Mirza, as Mirbs has made his way over. Zambera has the final chapter up and available as well. And Zambera can just come in and heal Ericsson if he needs to. Richard's going to get started up here, and the cat and the fox are going to make their way up together to help Kreox pick this objective up, and Zpikee will answer out with a dragon on the upper side, so they just cut the map down the center and take objectives either side.
And I feel like this is the most stable early game we've ever seen from Singularity.
Yeah.
And I just really like what Zpikee is doing this entire early game. He's been finding his opportunities, he's been finding windows in the mid lane. When wave needs to be crushed, he's there for a gang. It's not successful, but it is a try. Same thing in the bot lane. Right now, that bot lane is sitting with 0 summoners available to them for the set of Vanir. So Zpikee could be looking for a dive. Look where Person is actually positioned right now between the tower and the bot bot lane coming towards the bot side of the map. But of course, a dragon is a dragon. You start stacking. The next one's going to be a cloud dragon, which means that the soul is not going to be a cloud, which is what most people actually want.
Oh, Ericsson actually baits the ghost out of Zpikee. So it obviously has to use the ultimate, but he's probably kind of okay with that as Zpikee. We'll get the final chapter. That was a very scattered call between those two. Seems like they were not on the same page for that.
I'd say it was very optimistic, but on the other hand, I think Zaremba will be very glad that Mirbs didn't go in for that one because they still had 0 summoner spells among them, and Person was right there on the Nautilus over the wall. She could have flashed over and ruined Vanir bot lane's day. But talking about ruining Vanir bot lane's day, Zpikee is down there. He's gone invisible. They're going in.
Flash still down. They jump in. He pops the ultimate, but Mirbs is just instantly popped. They find a hook onto the kitty cat, and Zpikee will not be getting that second one because Zpikee takes it.
Zpikee, really good stuff yet again. Going towards the bot side of the map, we mentioned how they didn't have summoners. He punishes Mirbs before his flash comes up and available. Really well played by the bot lane of Singularity together with the jungle right there. I mean, this is impressive stuff coming in from Singularity. And yes, I understand it's against Vanir, which is not one of the highest tier teams that we do have in the league, but they're still 3 and 6. They're still chasing for their playoffs, which they made in spring, and they definitely want to be a part of this in summer as well. So Singularity giving them a fight is huge.
Well, that was also, you know, a massive punish. That final chapter went down from that kind of scattered cool bot lane, and it was instantly punished. They jumped straight into them. Pearson flashes forward, lands the hook. Mirbs can ult, but Mirbs was just spent the entire time airborne and knocked down. So really, really nice read there from them. Zpikee having to hover around this top side of the map. And keep in mind, Creox still has the Herald. Has gone for a cheeky reset. And June Pool actually found out by the bug. Can Syrian charge away, but does get slowed down by Zpikee. Just gets a whole bunch of additional damage in. Gore Drinker onto the bug as well. So Sips is going to be able to shove in this wave, get a bit of pressure here. And Zpikee has got that ultimate, has got flash available, does have his support coming in as well. So there is potential for another pick.
But look on the minimap right now. Ericsson has shoved in the mid lane. Merza is nowhere near. He does have his teleport up and available if he needs to join. But Creox is perma looking in the jungle. Now the thing is, unless you have Ari with you, which you will have right now, you definitely do not want to be face checking into the Kazakhs. Really nice spot right there from Zpikee as well. But Creox is fancying his chances.
Almost got him for the free Talon strike. Zpikee able to just about get away in time as Vanir are getting control of this red side jungle. Looks like they're just going to call it off, though. They don't really want to go any further, any more aggressive than they already have. But Mirza can get a little bit of damage off into the pair of them. This Rift Herald actually getting close to timing out, so they're going to shove in this mid wave, get a bunch of plate gold injected into Ericsson, who's already got those 2 kills, and just to kind of extend the lead between the 2 mid laners. Ericsson does have the ultimate available if he needs to, and Zpikee throws out the Ghost. Charm's going to land onto Mirza as well. Ericsson still with ultimate available, is going to be able to jump away. Zpikee gets sent back packing. Everfrost lands onto Mirza. Mirza throws out a whole bunch of extra damage into Ericsson.
Oh, it's a 1v1.
Big package as well, and Ericsson needs to find somewhere to escape. Jumps back in with a charm! He doesn't know! Mirza survives! The knockup lands onto Zpikee as Dreampool can't quite find the damage. Sips is here to make sure his jungle survives for now, but no, they get the knockback, they get the save. Zpikee Gore Drinker heals him back up and he won't go down. Singularity are punishing Vanir so hard. They can't find their opportunity to get anything.
And that was huge because there was a big bounty on Ericsson's head right there. So making sure you take him down. Sips cashing in on that one, 2-1 himself with his Trinity Force. He's going to be so strong in the team fights to come. And honestly, inserting all this gold into Ericsson needs to be a lot more responsible with what he does with it because Singularity have been playing pretty well. Hell, they're 1,000 gold in the lead, which is something I never expected to say about Singularity with the way their split has gone. But this team seems to be working. Zpikee is doing work onto this Kazakhs, and I think this fight worked really well because Zpikee isolated Creox, takes his ultimate, still tries to fight him onto the 1v1 where Kazakhs actually wins over him, and Mirza is fancying his chances versus Ericsson because he knows Sips is actually roaming from the top side of the map, and actually Sips has been perma roaming from the top side, ditching waves, walking down river, making sure his team gets the kills.
And Mirza now got that package, is going to be there to make sure that Singularity do get this second dragon. And we are looking at potentially a 25-minute Dragon Soul for the side of Singularity. It is a Mountain Soul, not the most intense, but it's something for them. So Charm goes a little bit wide there from Ericsson.
Yeah, and I think right now the fact that Ericsson had all of this gold, if you look at the inventories, he doesn't seem that rich, right? Because Mana Moon has been purchased by Mirza. He has Everfrost on the other side for the Ahri and an Amplifying Tome. I mean, Nameer wishes he had actually purchased the Medjais right there, but I don't think if he's throwing his leads that easily, Medjais is a good investment right there. But all in all, Zpikee was caught.
He has been caught, but in comes Scrooty. Mirbs is losing so much health. Look at the damage coming down. Mirbs will fall. Zampera will be next to go, and they gift the kill over to Zpikee. Another two-person kill in the bot side of the map as Mirbs is actually making his way over. Gonna throw down the rocket, and he steals the blue. It is all coming up Singularity, baby.
Scrooty is everywhere. His timings are impeccable. They use Zpikee as a bait down bot lane. Mirbs and Zaremba actually take the bait, and Scrooty is there to take them down. All for Summoner's Burnt again for the bot lane duo of Vanir. Sips is starting the Rift Herald towards the top side of the map, but all in all, Vanir will actually take that mid lane tower, and it's huge. Looking towards the bot side of the map, though, Zpikee is taking that bot lane tower, which means now this rat is unleashed on the map, and Vanir are going to have to be extra careful.
16 minutes on the clock. Gold lead. I can't believe we're saying this. In Singularity's favor. Pearson needs to be careful, though, because the Cat and the Fox are going to look to lock him down. Find the Charm, find the Everfrost, find the pickup. He gets the depth charge off, but Mirza able to fire back with the rockets. Goes a little bit wide, but Scrooty jumps into Kriox's pocket. The Kitty Cat's going to keep him up, and now Ericsson has to dash away. He's out of jumps as Zampera is locked down, but no, they're able to get him back onto Ericsson in time. And Vanir just lose their jungler. Singularity going to be happy with that, though, because they can turn their attention towards that Rift Herald.
They've come together as a team so much in literally just 1 week. This team just came together on Monday. They had their first official game as a team on Monday, and actually they had a sub bot lane, but now this is the intended roster for Singularity halfway through the split, and it looks pretty freaking good. Sips roaming around the map.
Oh, no.
Zpikee finds in his ways in the 1v1.
Mirbs. That shield bow will not save you. 3-0 onto the Twitch. The Twitch is already accelerated. That Kraken Slayer doing much. Mirza picks up the Rift Tower in mid as well. And we're just going to see this kill. Oh, hello!
Oh, wait. Oh, I was hiding.
This is literally, this is what it looks like, third-person Twitch. What?
You're looking a little dead. He says green, but...
Yeah.
Oh, Zeri does look green. She has green hair.
She's green today, yeah.
I'd say it was more dead than green there. Technically.
Oh, man.
It's been a long day.
I will say this much. Your Twitch impression is better than Jamada's.
Thank you.
Jamada, if you're listening or if someone says
Wait, I'm doing a pretty good corky as well.
Do you?
Yeah.
Go on.
Oh, I'm up to snuff. I got me a nice machine. Ah, that was good.
No.
No?
No, your Twitch is better than your Corky.
Ah, fair enough.
Don't worry, I can't do any League impressions, actually.
I do a good rat impression. It's all good. Oh, TP's
Oh,
been
that's
channeled.
a lot of abilities going down. They've already found themselves a kill on to Pearson. Singularity down a player off the back of that, and they could just turn this into Rift Herald. Oh, wow.
Mirza is actually starting to hurt right now because I think he's very close to his Ludens as well. He's literally a few hundred gold away from completing that. And when this goes down, it's going to be extremely difficult because most of the people are very squishy. If you hit an Ahri or if you hit the Zeri, you're going to take a big chunk of that HP. And yes, the Yuumi can heal it up, but the Yuumi uses right now a lot of that mana bar to heal it up because it doesn't just take a basic chunk of your mana, it also takes around 20% of your mana or close to that. So it's literally only a few heals and shields you can get through with the Yuumi in one team fight. So when the Corki is truly online, when you poke someone that low and suddenly you have Zpikee popping out of nowhere, blowing people up like Respect did in the previous game, it's going to be a problem for Vanir if they cannot keep track of where Zpikee is.
I'm glad you spoke about Zpikee, actually, because he's got a whole level lead over Mirbs. Mirbs only just ticked to 10 as well, so it was 2 levels while you were talking. He is so far ahead of his counterpart, closing in on that Blade of the Ruined King as well, and that Bork and that Kraken Slayer means Dreampool, he can build all the armor he likes. He is so squishy. He is going to get absolutely obliterated. Mirza as well, going on this base, we'll get that Luden's Echo. There's that big AP spike, and I just don't know how Vanir are going to be able to fight for a little while. Singularity are going to pick up their second dragon, so even more resistances coming in for Singularity, and they're closing in on Soul.
I'm just extremely impressed with what Zpikee is bringing into the team with this Kha'Zix. Because Kha'Zix is a very niche pick and it can go very well, but it can go oh so wrong really quickly. Namera also hit the nail on the head. The last time we saw Kha'Zix in ERL, it was Yike playing it for LDLC. Yep. And there wasn't necessarily much action in the late game. He mostly used it for late game shenanigans, diving into the backline, getting the isolated targets, right? Right here, Zpikee has done all the work for Singularity, going mid, taking flashes, taking summoners, going towards the top, Sips roaming down the map, being bot lane every time the wave was about to crash to punish the Vanir bot lane. I feel like this guy has been absolutely amazing so far. 3,000 gold in the lead for Singularity. They've taken bot tower, they've taken mid tower, they've opened up the map, which means assassins, such as the Twitch, such as the Kha'Zix, really shine when all this fog of war goes down for your opponents.
Well, we're 20 minutes in, the package is up and available. I don't think Singularity are going to start Baron, although they do genuinely have a very quick Baron with the likes of the Kha'Zix, the Corki, the Twitch, especially now Twitch has got that Blade and that Kraken Slayer, so Baron would melt to them, but Singularity probably not risking it. They're probably going to sit on that package for a couple more minutes and wait for this Dragon. That's probably where we're going to see that go down, unless the opportunity arises for a good team fight, or if Mirza has the ability to get back and teleport it. So I think this game might take a bit more of a chill pill for the next couple of moments while these teams just kind of fight for vision and catch some farm and maybe get a couple more items onto their players.
And you see how they're always hovering around Zpikee. Zpikee has a 350 gold bounty right now, and he's one of the strongest members in Singularity's team. So they need to make sure that he does not go down and you don't give gold away for free. Because if Zeri starts cashing in on all those bounties, suddenly she will reach her item powers back to 2 to 3 items and even more towards the later stages of the game. And she'll be so hard to actually pin down in these fights. So they need to make sure that you're constantly shoving in the waves. Top lane, shoved by Mirza. Bot lane, constantly solved by Sips, and then you have your 3-man core member that remains to hover around Twitch and help him push that mid lane as well. By having all this control over the map, you have vision. Screwdy, you don't have vision there.
Scroody's in a whole world of trouble, tries to get the Gore Drinker off, but he's locked down. Zpikee has been caught himself. Erison jumps into his face. Zpikee is going so much damage. He finds the kill. How on earth did he do that?
Wow, actually Zpikee is so freaking strong. Talking about vision, we mentioned you push in top, you push in mid, and you push in bot, so you can potentially get vision further on the map. Screwdy, cast the curse, face checks a completely blind bush for no reason. There's no objective towards the top side of the map other than Baron, and you definitely don't maybe it was a problem with the mouse, and he walked into this bush because there's absolutely no reason walking into this river. Because you see the own bot lane and you see the Zeri top lane. So there is no way a Zinzao and an Ahri with a Yuumi are actually doing Baron. Zpikee right there, of course, is going to trade the 1-for-1 because he's extremely powerful versus squishes like Ahri. But again, it's not worth it because the shutdown from Screwdy and the shutdown from Zpikee move over to the side of Vanir, and I'm pretty sure that Mirbs cast in on one of the two.
Yeah, that's a nice big injection of gold into them, but still got Zpikee, who's building towards now what I assume will be that Hurricane as the third item. Sitting quite pretty right there. Obviously, Phantom Dancer, Shield Bow picked up onto Mirbs. Mirbs has had that Shield Bow for a little while, but Chainsaw was actually finished up for Screwdy for quite a while. He had it in that previous fight, and I actually really like this. He's got the Gourd Ring, he's got the Chemtech Chainsaw, basically making sure that Zambera's not as hard, like as
effective.
impactful.
Yeah.
But Screwdy also, he's quite tanky. It's a very deceptive build. Like, this isn't I'll blow you up. I mean, it is I'll blow you up, but it's also I'll blow you up and not go down or not be as easy to punish as previously. If he jumps into the middle of 5, presses that Gourd Drinker, he just gets his full health back.
Yeah, and I'd like to see, because the guys mentioned on the desk as well, they said Vanir don't necessarily have to split. They can just sit together as a team. But if you sit together as a team, Meganas are easy to land. The poke from Corki is very easy to land. And Twitch does want you to stick around as a 5-man unit, because when he pops that ultimate, it's just going to be so easy to split it onto all of the members. So sticking together as a 5-man team for Kha'Zix, yes, is an option. but then you're gonna suffer the consequences of stacking in on all these corky rockets, stacking on a very easy anchor from the Nautilus to start the fight, and of course the Mega Gnar.
I thought he went back to go get package, but I think he might have used it actually because it's off the minimap now. Though he is looking to get onto that reset. Wave's going to get pretty heavily shoved in here by Vanir, and Singularity not really wanting to give that up quite yet. The reset does come in, and yes, Mirza does get the package, and he TPs back into the fray, back into the action. This is going to be big.
Look at all the vision, though, above Vanir. Their entire jungle is lit up. Thank you so much, observers. So that means that Mirbs can push in mid lane and then actually try to go to the top side of the map. But Ericsson caught him. He has to use the package.
Oh, the package just gets forced out so early. The Call of the Force God comes down. Mirbs under a whole lot of hurt. Scrooty goes invisible in the middle of everyone. Able to find one kill already. Onto Sips. And Zpikee remains untouched, and he's able to do so much damage. Jumping in. Scrooty jumps out. Ericsson goes low. Creox is bleeding out, but Zpikee can't quite finish anybody up. Vanir, blinking health bars, limp out of the Baron, out of the Dragon, sorry, and Singularity will find Soul 25 minutes into this game.
You see the problem when Vanir bunches up into the choke point, the rockets start flying in, all Mirza's AoE damage starts flying in. Zpikee with his AoE from the ultimate is like all of this damage is so much to handle for the sort of Vanir. You cannot push yourself through that choke point, and then you saw Scrooty jumping in to get this reset at the very end, jumping onto On to finish him first. Again, Sips on a minute now. He needs to find a way to actually charge his bar right here and get that Mega Gnar because it's so important, especially when Vanir are getting into that choke point, and then they're gonna walk in. They have Sips into their sides, but then Zpikee means he gets to all for free, and then when they all go through that choke point, look how much Mirza is going to hurt them with all of these and all of the rockets. He lands one. Everyone solo dives in for the flame spitter, I think it's called. But then everyone survives on 1 HP. I think Scrooty doesn't want to overextend that because if he dies, it means there's no smite. And with the Yuumi still in the game, Creox could have very easily turned around and taken the dragon. And this is very important because Soul went to them, and it's Mountain Soul. If you look on the other side, the only 2 damage dealers for Vanir is a Zeri and an Ahri.
Yeah.
The other 3 don't deal much damage at all right now. So Mountain Soul is so important.
Mountain Soul's going to it's going to make the life of Vanir way harder. Baron is up, and it really feels like neither team wants to pressure it quite yet. But I feel like Singularity, if they want to actually take any more objectives, probably do need to turn their attention towards it, because these towers are going to be quite hard to push. Because yes, they're lacking in damage to Singularity because of the Soul, but you still have ways to do damage to the wave. You have the Ahri. Ahri can clear through the wave. Mirbs can also clear through the wave. So maybe we need to see Singularity set up for that Drop Baron. And this game is, you know, win here for Singularity. It's obviously important, but what it's also about is them proving their capabilities and how decisive they are as this new unit. So we don't want to see them getting all hesitant to actually go in on any of this action.
Oh my god, Mirbs!
So much else. Spike gets the flash away. He has been locked down by the Root Dream Pool, pulling out the Ornhorn. Finds himself a 2-man lock up, and there Zpikee goes. He's out. Mirza, though, could get so much additional damage out. They found a double kill onto Ericsson. He's got the resets, and another kill's been picked up. Mirbs is the one to find it. Mirza's low HP. He's trying to find a little bit more additional damage off. Slips does have the ult. Mirza gets slowed, but he's able to jump away for now. Gets a bit more rocket damage out. No! He's down! Sips is the only one who stands a Singularity, and they just scrunch this game up and they launch it out the window.
We cast the curse and we said how much big that would be for their confidence to actually win this game. And it's not even just the confidence. The fact that they will only be 2 wins away from Vanir. There would be 1-9 and Vanir would be 3-7. That means that relegations could be completely out of the book if they can force Vanir towards these lower stages on the board. Lower places, sorry, on the board, but they overextend. Mirza gets caught, Zpikee gets caught, and the 2 main damage dealers for Singularity are absolutely taken out of the picture. Ericsson smurfing these Mirbs, dashing away, means that he forces Zpikee to move further up. And once Zpikee is that far forward, he gets exhausted. Ericsson catches him. Mirza has to get out of the fight really early, which means he cannot contribute as much as he would like to. Scrooty cannot walk in for any of this cleanup because Vanir are bunched up as a 5-man unit. And Sips was not even able to use his Mega Gnar because they kept fighting underneath enemy tower.
As much as we can criticize Singularity for that fight, and I think we should a little bit, I also want to give a massive shout out to Ericsson. He's been playing this RE very, very well.
Oh, yeah.
Laning phase, incredibly impressive. That team fight, flashing in, finding the charm onto Zpikee, which that was not an easy angle to flash forward and find that, but he still made it work. Ericsson has been playing his mind out on the RE, and we're now going to see a very happy Naimira because he's started to read.
The Megas has been purchased, of course, for Ericsson right here with 10 stacks in it already, and the person is going to have to try and get away there, but somebody's going to have to get into the base because Mirbs, Kreox and Zarempa are taking down inhibitor towers right now. Of course, they had the bound up wave to back them up, so it was very easy to push right there, especially with members of Singularity scattered around the map. And this is going to be an inhibitor tower for Vanir. The sides now are set into the mid lane. Ericsson is already prepping the wave.
Big thing to note as well, you got Elder spawning at 1 minute 30. So expect to see some action around there from the teams. This wave's going to get chipped away at, but it's not really going to do too much as they are able to get so much damage from Vanir onto this tower, almost taking half his HP. Double cannon wave as well means they're able to do significant damage to that objective. They've also got Dreampool pushing up in the top lane on that Ornn, and it feels that Singularity, they were controlling the tempo, they're controlling the pace of this game, and then they just let it slip. This game just ran away from them so fast.
I just want to remind you that JDXL lost today because of one dragon fight. One mistake is all it takes for the enemy team to grab the advantage and run away with it. Look at this area right now. 3 items and stopwatch. Look at the Ahri. 4 items and stopwatch. Kreox and Dreampool. Extremely tanky right now. 3 items almost each. Tanky items, which means they're going to be standing rock solid in front of their carries, tanking all of this damage thrown away at them.
Package.
Mirza
does have that package, and he's able to get a little bit of chip damage out. Obviously, not quite got that 3rd item finished up. Sips on the sideline, but Sips' Narbar not very full.
Singularity yet again with so much vision and first into this dragon, but Dreampool,
they're looking for them. They only find one with a knock-up. Mirza needs to drop this package perfectly down the line, but they've already lost themselves their support. Then Mirza jumps in. It's too late. 2 kills have already been picked up. Ericsson able to find himself the double as they find the steering charge forward, taking down the Gnar. It's a double kill for Dreampool, and Vanir just slams Singularity in the fight.
and one mistake is all it takes to lose it all. Mirbs gathering all the shutdowns, carrying the team. Ericsson with the early game gold lead, finding those picks, making Singularity pay for overextending in these fights. And even though Singularity had incredible vision on that bottom side of the river, they were first in there. They get caught again into a fight that's unfavorable for them, and Vanir will most likely right here close out the game.
Yeah, able to take down the next inhibitor. They are going to call it off, though. They want to reset. They want to get this Elder and deny Singularity any opportunity to pull it back. Screwedy up in 4 seconds. He's not going to get here in time. Not when Mirbs able to take it down this quick.
Oh, the TP's
teleport coming in. Double teleport coming in. They're looking to try and stop this. Pearson, this is going to have to be one hell of a play as Mirbs is coming in with a rocket. The Call of the Forge God's gone down. Little rocket comes in. There it is. Dragon secured. Mirza bleeding out, and he will fall. The Gift of the Elder secures the kill. That's one already dead. 48 seconds on the death timer for Mirza. Mid lane inhibitor down. Bot lane inhibitor open. Big waves to work with. Vanir could probably close this.
Yeah, they have a wave in the bot lane and they have a wave in the top lane pushing as well. They ping the top lane wave and Ericsson is on his way. He's going to kill some wolves in the meantime, I guess. But the mid lane wave is huge because they also have that super minion from earlier on when they took the inhibitor. They can actually push in for the victory right here. They can tower dive. They still have Elder.
It's going to be a pretty easy one as well. Sips gets jumped onto. Hook comes down. There we go, though. The final chapter catches them out for the moment as Kreox pops himself the ultimate, gets popped back. Screwedy waiting for the opportunity to jump in as Kreox launches into his face. Sips about to gnar out, and that might be enough just to cool it down a little bit for the side of Singularity. They've almost got Mirza back up and available, but they're going to lose an inhibitor before he comes back. Here he is. It's a 5 versus 5 in the base, but the Elder on to the side of Vanir. Singularity looking down the barrel for going 0-10 during the summer split here at the NLC. Here's the Call of the Forge God. Dreampool, he's pulling the trigger, misses out as the round goes between the goalposts. Syrian charges away for the moment, looking for the lockdown onto Pearson, able to get him out. out. And Vanir, not willing to risk it with Baron on the table, they can just go get that and then play this through the top.
Yeah, but when you still have Elder up and available on you, you can just push into the Baron pit, force the enemy team to come and face check you, and at the end of the day, you can very easily turn around. Again, one mistake was all it took from Singularity for Vanir to punish them, cashing on all the shutdowns, and right now your carries are unbeatable. Your tanks are rock solid in the front line, and it's just so difficult to team fight when Ericsson is that slippery, when Mirbs on that Zeri is so slippery, and of course Singularity have no business being in that river and face checking to check what's going on with the Baron, because Elder Dragon is still on the Vanir members and they will just pop. So I'm assuming that here we're going for a last second defense underneath Nexus Tower moment.
It is going to have to be the hero plays of hero plays. They do have a 3.5 item Twitch. He is almost level 16. So if a bad dive goes and Zpikee is untouched, there is a world. There genuinely is a world where he could do it. He's looking to finish up that Mortal Reminder as well there, just steals away the Grump to get himself a little bit additional gold. And
Must have been for the item. He must have
I
been to
assume
complete
it
his
was that.
full
He
item.
is so close. He's going to finish it up. There it is. Almost a full build Twitch. Almost a level 16 Twitch. So there is a glimmer, Trouble. There is a glimmer of hope. I am huffing some serious hopium right now.
And I saw Scrooty back in there as well. I thought he had his Black Cleaver. He does, actually. So this is going to be huge fighting against all those tanks. This is going to be the last place of defense for Singularity. How much can Mirza poke? How much can Zpikee find the right moment to pop the rat-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta and see health but disappear? Vanir, very slippery, very tanky. Do you have enough damage left on Singularity? Can Scrooty find the
Ericsson!
station?
Beautiful charm, and it's an absolute rampage. The final chapter goes down. Sips trying to buy some space, but they pull him in with the hook. The tower falls down, though. Scrooty trying to reposition. Zpikee being untouched as he's unleashing onto them. What a gnar back by Sips. But Mirbs on the front line. Zpikee remains untouched, but he has no team. He has no players. Vanir are going to run them down as Sips is being chased towards the fountain. He can't make it. He just about slivers away. You can take the players out of Singularity, but you can't take the Singularity out of the players. They go 0-10.
Very importantly, Vanir gets away with murder in this game. Singularity had probably one of the best early games that we've seen the team have in a very, very long time. And I think Vanir actually wiping their foreheads right now. Ericsson had to go the extra mile to flash and get the charms, to find these assassinations, because all the gold was shoved in his Ari in the early game. He had to make it work, and he did make it work. The second Singularity overextended, Ericsson chopped the heads off.
I think there's a few positives to take. Singularity definitely looked better. There was definitely some problems where I think the decision-making was a little bit off. Vanir, there was definitely some problems there, but Ericsson, he is going to have a sore old back after that game. Anyway, we're going to let our analysts break that game down. So, Archeron, over to you.
Thank you so much. I would say that's the perfect summary of the game. Ericsson with amazing plays. He bought the book.
He bought the book. I have to say, though, just in gameplay alone, that was some really good play. Now, I sparingly give out Nymera approvals of Ari players. Ericsson, buddy, that was a really good game.
And not just for the book.
Not just for the book. I mean, like right from the off, first blood, everything, really, really good stuff. Aggressive mindset. I love seeing that.
But we have to go back and talk about Singularity. Singularity coming in with a new roster. Zpikee joining again. I have to understand what is happening right there. I need to talk with that player specifically to understand what is going on with Singularity. But the idea that a new roster takes in on Vanir that we talked in the previous, on the pre-show, we were singing praises about this team. Obviously, they need to fix some things, but Singularity almost take this game. I know you told me Yuumi is a fair champion. Yeah, but aside from that, it seemed like Singularity were almost capable of getting that first W.
You know, so in Champ Select, I made it pretty vocally clear, like, this had better be comfort because this looks pretty rough as the game goes on. And honestly, I outperformed the draft that I saw on paper. Particularly, I looked at that Kha'Zix, and it did a lot more early game than I thought it would. And that Twitch, much like we saw earlier in the day by Chrisberg, actually in Astralis too, you get to a certain break point, and Twitch has reached critical mass and can do some crazy things. So actually, on that note, it went a little better than I thought it did, but it didn't do enough to win the game.
Solari.
It was good in the early game. It was very good for Singularity up until the very late stages when finally Vanir found the ways to play around them. Finally, they were able to put all the control on the table and to put the control on the correct champions. That's when the game started to turn around. That's when Vanir just held the lead and they were not letting it go. But before that, definitely Singularity were overperforming against all our expectations, I think. But I think this Kha'Zix play was just so major. Him finding the ways to go in, him finding the picks for himself in the fights. It was huge. It was the new Singularity to me.
The first time Singularity got access to the soul as well. It was the mountain, didn't get them through this game, and Vanir in the end eventually got it. That's why we're going to talk with them first, specifically Mirbs. Welcome, Mirbs, to the great show. How are you doing?
A rough game.
A rough game.
Good. Ericsson is too good.
But not only that, obviously we keep talking about the way Vanir are playing, and you still have to find your personality and all that, the way that the team is playing. Playing versus Twitch as an AD carry, how scary is that through the mid game?
In mid game, it's pretty scary. But I mean, I kind of dropped the ball early on too, so he was scary even from the start. So yeah.
And now moving on to the real issue on the game. Did you actually think that you were going to lose versus Singularity? And if you did, how rough would this be on the team?
I don't think we thought we was going to lose like at any point.
Okay.
But, I mean, I could feel it got a bit stressed in the comms once we start like falling behind, but
you two can have this level of confidence with the cornucopium.
Yeah, the horn is good.
That's a lot to talk about, and I want to know what is happening with Vanir. Right now, with the new top laner, the way things are going, what is the real plan for Vanir taking upon this second half of the split? Because there are things that need to be fixed. I don't mean changed, I just mean fixed, because the roster is good, the talent is there. What do you believe as a player that needs to change for Vanir to be the Vanir you want to be?
I mean, I think we just need to play more consistent. I think with Dreampool now, I think we got a more or a better identity on how we want to play. I think he brings a lot in both knowledge and play style. So I think, yeah, just by having Dreampool, I think we can do much better this second split or second round.
Do you believe you guys are lacking the confidence?
No, I think we're pretty confident players.
Good.
But as a team, individually, I know you are. I've seen you play Division 2 as a team.
No, I mean, our goal is for sure reaching playoffs, and I think we are very capable of doing that. So.
Okay, let's see what happens throughout the split. Thank you so much for this interview, and I'll see you soon. It's always a pleasure to talk with you, man.
All right, bye.
Okay, they seem confident, and yeah, obviously I'm trying to fish as much as I can regarding the decisions and all that.
You'll figure out that we do a lot of fishing to try and see if we can get them to tell us any juicy nuggets of information. Sometimes they don't need any help. Nias is a great example of this. Sometimes you just want to prod them and go, so this team was really bad, huh? And they'll be like, oh yeah, they were really awful because they think that you lead them.
With Nias, you're actually taking like the pole, the fishing pole. He's already on the back. Like, oh, okay, I fished one.
Just like every good video game, it does need a fishing minigame, and that's what we do here.
Okay, I like it here. Can I stay? Just for the fishing minigame, please?
How's good your angling?
I'm thinking about it. There we go. We're gonna talk with Zpikee right now on the side of Singularity. We have a lot to discuss. Welcome back, Zpikee. And it was a game that was so close in your reach. What happened in your mind? What makes you think that you guys let this one slide?
I mean, we had them in the first half, right?
Nicely done.
I mean, I think we got a little bit too impatient, right? Especially around the mid lane. Really wanted to force our lead and try to end the game fairly quickly because nothing really outscales the Yumi. So I think we were a bit too eager on the trigger. Especially me, I grifted a little bit in mid, I think, which kind of backfired. And then, I don't know, it was hard playing team fights, setting up correctly and whatever. But I think just small tweaks and that game is ours for sure.
So you can offer us pretty unique perspective on like the journey Singularity's had over this year because you've been there through all of it. Obviously now the only person on the starting roster from spring. A lot of this project was touted to be about development. It's about building up players from university backgrounds and elsewhere. I think on an individual level, it's quite obvious to see that you have improved a lot as a player. What's your experience in terms of this year and developing as a player? And do you think actually there's more you could have been given to maybe help the previous roster? What's happened with the development this year?
I mean, the entire Singularity thing with developing players and university plan, etc. was, I mean, it was hard from the get-go, right? Like we had limited time to practice. Everybody was studying all the time. We were not really scrimming a lot, so it's really hard. And it was hard with the infrastructure as well to develop the talent. So I feel like the improvement we had to do was pretty much up in there and down to ourselves to do that as well. There was not really any cheat code on doing it and like any clear guidance as well. Because all of us were kind of rookies as well, just going into this ERL, and it got really stacked all of a sudden as well with the new structure of NLC as well. So I think, I mean, it's been really hard, right? And now when this complete new roster, no more university team as well, I'm the only one left from like one day to another as well. I think it's probably good for results if you want to win, but yeah, I don't really know. It's hard for sure.
It is a hard topic.
Just as like one last aside thing, because obviously you're saying in terms of like the resources you're given and actually the development you did was largely personal and stuff. Dude, that's actually incredible if you've been doing that on your own with your own stuff. Seriously, like I know it's been a really tough year. Seriously, the level of improvement you have had is incredible for anyone in the ERL scene. If you've been doing that largely off your own back, round of applause, dude. Seriously, incredible work. I know it's a tough loss to take today. Just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Obviously, there's a lot to take in and a lot to develop on this new team of Singularity, but do you believe this is the core that the team needs right now to get where the team needs to be?
Yeah, I think, I mean, now everybody's hungry, motivated, right? The players coming in, they haven't really been on this huge loss journey as I have, and they're really motivated to win and prove themselves in the ERL. Everybody, like Zpikee and Pearson are making their like ERL debut, right? So is Mirza, kind of. So they want to prove themselves, they want to win. So they're really putting the time in. We are actually scrimming more than once a week now. So that's also good. So I think this new roster will for sure, I can't really promise any playoff miracle run or whatever, but I mean, I think we'll see more competitive games in the future for sure, and see the results coming after, and maybe even more long term, seeing how it pans out. We can maybe be competitive. For sure,
let's see what happens in the future. Thank you so much for this one, and again, congratulations on all the hard work you guys pulled off. Let's see how the future holds for you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
It's a big topic, obviously, and just knowing that these players were able to achieve what they achieved in the way that Zpikee, for instance, was able to upgrade.
And we really don't mean that in a condescending way, because actually being in these kind of circumstances, it is really rough. And I challenge you to go into a competitive, high-level, full-time environment and have to be dragged through the mud like that and I'm sure that doesn't help backroom atmosphere as well when results are obviously going downhill.
Yeah.
Trying to succeed in that kind of environment is very difficult, and to show the level of individual growth that particularly Zpikee has shown, I genuinely think is worthy of praise.
And reaches a point where it's not only about the gameplay, but also about the mentality. For instance, yesterday on Division 2, I got to interview a player that won his first game competitively in years. He never won. Demdem came in with a poppy, and we were talking with him, and he just confessed about that. And you could see the shift in mentality between the previous of the game to after the game. So obviously it's not only about gameplay. People back at home can be like Diamond 1 or even above and say, oh, I'm better than that. But the mentality though, these guys were able to pull off. That is a hard split.
Diamond 1 RE1 trick. Never couldn't relate to that.
At the end of the first day of the second half of the split, let's see how the teams are standing today. What changed? JDXL no longer have a 0 in front of them. They were looking for the second digit for the 0 to appear, but no, that's a 9-1. Riddle following up with only 1 game behind JDXL. Astralis, Dusty, X7, and Bifrost 6-4 right now as Vanir are on 7th spot. Noriki, M&M, and Team Singularity.
I said that the middle of the tournament board is going to look very bloodthirsty, but look at the very beginning right now. The first 2 teams are actually not that defined anymore. They're so close. Riddle can actually fight for the first place right now.
I was about to say, I know in general that rule holds true. You look back at Spring, it came down to the last handful of games to determine the top 3. It's very rare you get that kind of opportunity, but if that happens again, like, seriously, stick around for the best entertainment in the URLs. It's going to be just chef's kiss.
To remind you, as he's doing the chef kiss yet again, JDXL in the previous split were aiming for first place, and they end up on the 3rd one at the last possible game.
Head-to-heads.
Yeah.
It was like they 2-0'd Bifrost 2-0'd X7, and then X7 2-0'd JDXL, and because of the way that it happened into a lot of weird indicators, they ended up sifting all the way down to 3rd into that lower bracket, and honestly, with the way things are getting close, I would not write that off just yet.
I know other ERLs have like a normal script where you reach the end, they're like, this is cool.
We have really hammed it up.
No, we are pure chaos, okay? Maybe, let's see if you can stick around and maybe you have that chaos for you every single day. I don't know what's going to happen, but let's see what happens for Solari. But now, a play that caught our eyes throughout the day is going to be the play of the day for MasterCard. Take a look.
Please tell me it's what I think it is. Yes!
Oh, yeah.
It is?
It is this one. This is... I have rarely seen such levels of pandemonium on a competitive stage. Now, I used to play in university leagues, I cast university leagues, and I know that they got crazy. Even then, that didn't get to this level. Like, just knowing you can drag in the Silas brings in that riposte. On a 1v1 level, that's crazy. Then it goes further.
It goes just to so many lengths, the way how long Banderas was able to drag the attention of so many members of the enemy team towards him, that when they actually got to the Baron pit, it looked like complete chaos. Like, look at that. Can you, like, just look at a screenshot and tell me what's happening? Because I would not be able to.
This bit here, when, you know, the Ezreal has to jump forwards, Astor goes, I need to go into melee range of a volley bet while we're doing it. That is just like the kind of mentality I absolutely approve of in this one context. And Hiprain in the background screaming his lungs out. It's just like, oh my God, it's not even just 9 people dead on the floor. It's the casters breaking their lungs too.
Everybody broke down on that one. You know Ezreal went in and the volley was like, really? You know you won't survive this one. And
so
he is dying and saying,
you have chosen death.
He's like, you think I was going to get away from this? This is my sacrifice. So this was such a good play that symbolizes the entire day. We had so many surprises as well. But now we need to understand what is going to happen on the next week, day 11 of Summer Split.
What have you got for us?
Hit me with the schedule to understand. X7 versus M&M Gaming are going to open the day. Vanir after this game versus JDXL. Then Dusty are going to take on Noriki. Riddle Esports versus Team Singularity. At the end of the day, Astralis versus Bifrost.
Game 3, Game 5, those are the 2 I'm looking at. I think they're the ones which, based off of today's results, they're likely to be closer. Not that the others don't have some potential chance for upset, but like particularly those 2 look spicy, as you
agree?
I absolutely agree. I still have hopes for Noriki, okay? I'm never going to give up on my Finnish boys, but I think here they actually do have a chance with Dusty. I don't know, but I can't wait to see what's going to happen there.
It's going to be on Monday. So for us at NLC, we'd like to say goodbye. We love you very much, obviously. And Monday, it's another day. Tomorrow is going to be Division 2, so don't skip a beat. Follow us on all social media so you can interact with the Q&A for Division 2 and also for the bets. And now you're watching NLC at home. From NLC, we love you very much. I'm going to wrap up the entire transmission as I need to hug Trouble because she's one of the most beautiful persons I've met on the outside and on the inside as well. We love you very much. I'll see you soon.